What is up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome back to another video, Axe Entertainment. I'm your host, Zack Axe, bringing you my ranking and review for the 2025 Great American Bash pay-per-view. The Great American Bash overall was definitely a decent pay-per-view. I thought there were PLE. I keep calling it pay-per-views for some reason. But we definitely had some good wrestling. We had some okay wrestling, and then overall I thought it was a decent pay-per-view. I thought it was decent. I definitely don't think it was the best NXT pay-per-view of the year. I don't think it goes that far, but it was definitely good, and we're going to rank it right now. Coming in at number 5, we have the women's tag team match between Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace taking on Fatal Influence's Jacy Jayne and Fallon Henley. Now this match overall, I could not get behind this match. I don't know why this match was the main event. First of all, there was no stakes. It was simply there to hype up the match for the next night on Evolution between Jacy Jayne and Jordynne Grace. And I get we've been giving the women the main event a lot on NXT, but I think that's why this was a perfect time to give this main event to what I believe should have been Ricky Saints versus Ethan Page as the main event, because I know we had the NXT Championship match on here, but I don't think they had a good enough build to be the main event. I don't think this match had a good enough build or stakes to be the main event, so I think we should have given the main event something else. But overall, this match was not very good. Trying to watch it, it had no memorable spots, like overall, especially for Blake Monroe or Mariah May's first match. This match definitely it felt weird. Like it had some fluent wrestling, I guess you could say, and there was some basic spots, some interference from Jasmine on the outside. And, you know, it did what it was there to do, which was set up their match of the next night. And I did predict that was going to happen. What was going to happen was Jordynne and Blake Monroe pick up a win here, and we're going to lead into Jacy Jayne rotating the next night. We're going to make Jordynne Grace look strong one night and have her lose the next night. And I predicted both those perfectly. That's exactly what ended up happening. So I'm 1-0 on this pay-per-view, or PLE, whatever you want to call it. But it's just, this match felt weird. Like, it just didn't feel like it should have been the main event. I think that hurt it off the riff. And it didn't feel that as fluent as it should have. And for being Blake Monroe's first match on NXT, I think it could have been better. Coming in at number 4, we have the NXT Championship. Why is my mouth so watery? Coming in at number 4, we have the NXT Championship match between Yoshiki Inamura and the champion Obafemi. Now, this match overall was just a meat fest, and you couldn't really expect anything else. You couldn't expect this match to be like Javon Evans in here, or these other guys that kind of let Obafemi reach his peak speed, reach his peak, and, you know, run around the ring and show you how good he is at wrestling. Because we had Yoshiki, who's a good wrestler, but he's kind of in the same frame as he picks up speed based on who he's wrestling with. And when these two guys are both very sluggish in the ring when they're, you know, not with somebody like that, this match was always never going to be great. Now, this match wasn't bad. I say this match was definitely decent. But overall, there wasn't a lot of big spots. They got me on the whole. I said I couldn't see Obafemi winning this. Or I'm sorry, I said I couldn't see Yoshiki Inamura winning this, and they kind of flipped that on me. They got me on that one a little bit because Josh Briggs started interfering, and it looked like we had a chance where Yoshiki was going to win the championship, but then he had me believing it for a little bit, but then Yoshiki put out the whole, I'm going to win this on my own, I don't want your help, you know, go back to ringside, I'm going to go win this on my own. So Yoshiki could very easily be the NXT champion right now if he wasn't so, you know, against cheating. But these two definitely had a pretty decent match. I wasn't that excited for this match, and I think it exceeded my expectations because I wasn't as excited for it. There was some good back and forth here and there. There was some good moves, some good power moves from both of them, but overall I felt this match was a little bit slow, especially compared to a lot of Obafemi's recent NXT Championship defenses. It felt like another Jasper Troy versus Obafemi situation. But overall, wasn't terrible, wasn't great. I'm putting it at number 4. At number 3, we have the match between Javon Evans and Jasper Troy. Now, this, of course, is Jasper Troy's first ever pay-per-view or PLE match, and I think he definitely delivered. I don't think as much as he delivered as Javon Evans delivered, but I don't think Jasper Troy was a slouch in this match at all. I don't think Jasper Troy, you know, had to be hardcore carried like I was predicting he was going to have to be. I think he still looked good in this match, and I think it wasn't all Javon making him look good. I think he made himself look good, a lot of it too. There were some great counters in this match. Javon pulling out his, you know, regular offense immediately is going to boost the match because his offense is insane on its own, and he's just pulling out his great offense. Jasper Troy having some great counters to his offense. Javon Evans, same thing, having some great counters to Jasper's offense. And we kind of just had like a David versus Goliath story of, you know, Javon trying to overcome this giant in Jasper Troy. And I think this was a great pick for his first PLE match. and it was a very good match. It was very good. Like I said, very good David versus Goliath story. We had some great counters. There was a couple missed kicks, I'd say, from Javon, but I feel like that happens every match. Every match, when you're going for that many kicks and that many high risk moves, you're gonna miss a couple sooner or later. And we actually ended this match, which this is gonna be my first loss on this PLE. We ended this match with Javon Evans countering the Black Hole Slam, a very innovative counter, rolling him up and pinning Jasper Troy for the win. So Javon Evans won this match. I would not have guessed in a million years Javon Evans was going to win this match. I think maybe we're going to continue this feud now because we have, you know, a win for the face, and I feel like whenever the face wins, we automatically usually have the heel feeling some kind of way about it and go back into that. But overall, I thought this match was very good. It was very fluent. Especially because Javon Evans is just so good at keeping matches fluent. So I think overall this match was very good. I think it was middle of the pack at number 3. At number 2, I'm going to have the Women's North American Championship match between the champions Sol Ruca and Izzy Dame. Now let me just start this by saying Sol Ruca is absolutely a beast. Like, we already knew how good of a wrestler she was, but she had to wrestle Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week. So she is absolutely a beast. She needs her flowers for that. I thought this match had a very great opening sequence because it just started with Tatum Paxley trying to cheat, and immediately Izzy Dame hit her finisher on Sol Ruca, and it looked like the match could be over right there. Of course, we did have either a rope break, and it was a rope break or a kick out by Sol Ruca, so the match could continue. Big offensive moves from Izzy early too. She was pulling out like creator wrestler moves. Like, she was hitting all kinds of like fireman's carry, flapjack, and like all kinds of just crazy maneuvers. We had a moonsault. Oh my god, we had a moonsault where Izzy Dame got kicked right square between the eyes by Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca went up for the, you know, standard moonsault, the kind of like Pete Dunne does to the outside off of the middle rope, and she kicked Izzy square in the face. That looked painful, like a kick or a knee. Izzy looked to be fine. I didn't see any bruising or anything, so hopefully she's fine, but she got, you know, pelted in the face with that boot. We had a middle rope codebreaker from Izzy. Very cool offense there. Like I said, she's pulling out some huge moves, some creator wrestler-esque moves, and the match ends up ending in a springboard soul snatcher. So instead of her regular in the corner soul snatcher, she went off of the bottom rope or middle rope and hit a springboard version of it. What I didn't like about this move when she first started doing it was I didn't like how like predictable you had to be, how you had to be right there and she had to be right there to hit it. But now that she's hitting it from off the top rope, from the second rope, from a springboard position, I think this move is getting 10 times better because you can get it hit by it from anywhere. But this is going to bring my predictions down to 2-2. So of course I got Oba and the tag team match right, but I did get Jasper Troy wrong, and I got this match wrong too, because I just thought it was a guarantee Izzy Dame was taking this title. They built up Izzy Dame recently, you know, put her with Tatum Paxley. I thought for sure we were going to have Izzy Dame winning the championship here, and then maybe using that as a catalyst to split up Sol Ruca, but that's not what happened. Sol Ruca ends up retaining in this match, and this was a very good match. Definitely Izzy's best match that I've seen. If she has a better match out there somewhere, let me know in the comments and I'll go check it out, but that I've seen so far in NXT from Izzy Dame, this is for sure her best match. And at number 1, what else could it be except for the Falls Count Anywhere match between Ricky Saints and Ethan Page? This match was insane from the jump. This match had so many crazy spots, and whenever you get to see a hardcore match or a, you know, no DQ, any type of Extreme Rules match in NXT, it's almost always going to be good because they just know how to deliver painful spots. A lot of crazy spots in this match. This match was non-stop from the jump. This match had a lot of crazy moves. We had a WWE shop table in the back getting put down because courtesy of Ethan Page. I always like in these Falls Count Anywhere matches when they get to brawl around the catering and they get to brawl around the, you know, the, what are those called? The concession stands and the merch tables, and I always love seeing that, and they had one of those spots in this match. Ethan Page picked up Ricky Saints at one point, drove him back first into the pool that was sitting there. That looked like it absolutely hurt. That hurt my back just watching. And then we got to go into this, the best spot of the match, the best spot of the night for sure was when two chairs were back to back. Ricky Saints going for a powerbomb onto him, or the Rochambeau, whatever he was going for onto him, and Ethan Page back body drop Ricky Saints onto these chairs that were put back to back. That was painful. If you haven't seen this entire PLE, go watch that spot at least and watch this whole match while you're there. That was absolutely insane. And then immediately after taking that vicious bump, Ethan Page picks Ricky Saints back up and suplexes him onto the guardrail that was set up earlier in the match, and just two vicious back-to-back back-to-back back bumps from Ricky Saints. Then we had a chair powerbomb onto Ethan Page from Ricky Saints after countering a top rope move from Ethan Page. Thank God Ethan Page was getting some of the bumps in this match too, because it seemed like Ricky Saints was taking all the crazy bumps. And actually, I did forget, but I want to bring this up. Jasper Troy was backstage at one point. They were brawling. We had a drop kick from Ricky Saints onto Ethan Page off of like a pipe above, and then they threw him into Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy hits the black hole slam on Ricky Saints and just pushes him away, which that could lead to something that could just be kind of like a funny little thing. I hate that they kept pushing it on commentary after it happened, like, oh my god, I can't believe Jasper Troy was back there. I wish this would have just been like one of those things you'd see in the Attitude Era where two guys were brawling, another guy's backstage, he ends up just getting a shot in for no reason. I think it was kind of funny. That's what I was kind of looking at it as. And then the match, of course, ends up ending with a Razor's Edge off of the stage through a couple of tables into the pinfall by Ethan Page. Ethan Page retaining the championship, and this match was definitely an instant classic. I hate that when we're talking about this weekend, everyone's talking about AEW's matches, especially, you know, the Hangman Page match, and everyone's talking about the Evolution match, which is great, between Io Sky and Rhea. I think those two matches definitely were amazing, but I think that we need to talk about this North American Championship match a little bit more, because this match was also an instant classic. I think maybe not as good as those two matches, but definitely in the conversation for one of the best matches of the weekend. I think this match was amazing, and this easily going to come in at #1. It's definitely a classic for NXT wrestling. Well, there you go, a little bit shorter than normal video. I thought this pay-per-view, or the PLE, why am I going to do that? I'm going to do that every time. I thought this PLE overall was definitely very entertaining, especially the last two matches, #1 and #2 being, you know, the Falls Count Anywhere and the Women's North American Championship match. I think the other matches were definitely okay, if not a little bit boring at times, but I think overall it was, I hate saying this, I say this every video, but it was in the middle, like a little bit higher than the middle for a PLE. Not the best PLE of the year, but definitely a very good standalone NXT PLE. So if you did enjoy, go ahead and leave in the comments what your favorite match from NXT Great American Bash was. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, ring the bell if you want to be notified whenever I drop a video like this one, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
This happened if I had real tough love, I'm bad at this, and I'm bad for this.
Narcissistic tendencies, I don't care about no one else. Narcissistic tendencies, I'm low, so set me on the shelf. Few people ever have my back, yeah, there ain't no doubt about that.
Now the great, what the fuck?